we are live. Hello, and welcome to the 10-minute feature. I am your lovely host, Barbara Walters. Today, we have Susana Praver-Pérez, is a Pushcart-nominated poet and a winner of the San Francisco Foundation Nomadic Press Literary Prize for Poetry. Born and raised in New York, Susana currently resides in Oakland, California, where she works as a physician assistant at La Clínica de la Raza. Susana's work has appeared in numerous literary journals and anthologies. Her first full-length book of poetry, Hurricanes, Love Affairs, and Other Disasters, was recently released by Nomadic Press. Here is Susana Praver-Pérez.
Thank you, Thomas. It's wonderful to be sitting in this virtual chair where I've heard so many fabulous poets read. I'm going to start out by reading from my new book, Hurricanes, Love Affairs, and Other Disasters. The three themes, I will pick a poem from each of those themes. But first, I'm going to start out with one of my favorite poems from the book, which sort of is about the writing process and where we get our inspiration. It's called Sparks, and it's an Oakland poem. Brother poet teaches me how to catch fireflies, those glimmering sparks that flicker in my mind. He tells me, pull over when a muse trails you in the fast lane. No way you want to mess with a muse. But there's no soft shoulder to pull over on San Leandro Boulevard, just a high curb holding a river of weeds, graffiti, and makeshift shelters multiplying faster than the thistles and thorns. There's nothing soft about my route through East Oakland. I park in the employee lot and cross the street, dodging red light runners and rats that leap like pole vaulters into air vents. I'm late for work, but a muse caught a ride on my tailpipe, held me in her silky hands, pinned my eyelids open wide. My gaze traces the corrugated bark of a palm tree towering over the Fruitvale BART. Not 50 feet away, Oscar Grant got shot, dead, by a cop who said he'd confused right from left, but really confused right from wrong as he pulled a gun on a handcuffed man laying face down on the platform. I'm late for work, but palm frond shadows dance on the paved stones, and women who walk all the way from Guatemala rest in the shade, wearing hand-woven huipils and high-heeled shoes from Payless. Girls with black braids skip round the fountain, clap hands in blue water, giggle their delight. I scribble snapshots in my calendar in the leftover corners of days. I might as well be the palm tree, the fountain, the aroma of coffee in the plaza. I'm late for work, but the sun spells summer on my shoulders. Brother Poet's voice is in my ears, and there are fireflies everywhere I look. The first section of this book is titled Borinken, which is the original indigenous name for Puerto Rico. And most of the poems in that section deal with Hurricane Maria and the aftermath of Hurricane Maria that hit Puerto Rico on September 20th of 2017, knocking out all the power, devastating the island. And this poem is one of those hurricane poems called How to Keep Cool When a Hurricane Knocks Out the Power. Do not call up wind. You already know the great god Huracan who spewed his bitter breath on you. Do not speak his words. They have already burned your mouth, tumbled your walls, beheaded your palm trees. Do call up breeze, that delicate air found on wings of colibris and sea foam, scent of salitre, a trail of perfume in Yamaya's blue wake. Do not call up snow, that blanket of whiteness Theo Joe sent photos of from New York, seeking the sustenance those from the north made so hard to find. Fields of viandas buried beneath concrete and debt. Do call upon the white sparkle of rain that doubles as drink and nurtures veiled roots. Boil yuca y lluvia till your abuela appears in the vapor, agua de coco cupped in her wrinkled hands. Do not give up. as you stand in line 5 hours to buy gasoline for generators that poison your lungs and fill your ears with shrill, like the wail of 4,000 dead, decomposing in the tropical sun. Do hang a hammock on a rooftop where you can see the moon and stars and remember the great god Urukan was your great-great-great-grandfather, and your bones are carved from ironwood, your blood a braid of many mothers, espiritu long and strong as Rio Grande de Luisa. Yes, one day there will be cool jugo de pacha to sip again, because resilience will always be your middle name. As if a devastating hurricane was not enough of a disaster, 2.5 years later, Puerto Rico was hit by an earthquake, not just an earthquake, but a year's worth of earthquakes. This poem deals with that and the situation of a repeated trauma. It's called Cartography of the Caribbean. Once, during the discovery, map makers placed Borinken at the center of the New World. North America, not fully explored, was mapped like a snake dangling above the island renamed Puerto Rico for riches the Spaniards found. The snake grew voracious teeth. Gold was devoured, ore became sugarcane, then petrol, pharmaceuticals, a tax haven, a post-hurricane clearance sale, se vende sign seen everywhere. So it sounds like old news when geologists explain shake after shake of earthquake swarms. The North American plate is pushing hard against the Caribbean, apretando till fault lines jolt, rocks explode, and Boricuas with frayed, singed nerves feel they're about to implode. Houses built on pillared legs fall to their knees. Schools collapse like tents of cards. Thousands of people sleep under the stars, afraid they'll be crushed by their homes. In every blackout chafes half-healed wounds, remembering. A year without light, months without water, weeks of waking to tell your daughter, eat your rice, mi amor. No hay nada más. Cascades of disasters reshape inner landscapes, like swarms of quakes reshape Puerto Rico's topography. In just 15 days, the city of Ponce sunk 15 feet, slid westward towards the setting sun. On Dia de los Reyes, Guayani awoke to find Punta Ventana shattered, porthole in the stony cliff, now jagged row of teeth. In Iguanica, point of entry when the US invaded in 1898. The ocean trembles. On the shore, a woman watches a meteor streak across the sky. Her house is a mound of rubble, but she's still standing, listening to the coquilles, singing in the mangroves. Thank you. This next piece, also from the book, is among the love poems, and it's called Aviso. The day our eyes agreed to slip off masks, you ask when I first noticed you. I say, you've always been a butterfly fluttering in the wings. Your turn to confess. You remember my smile, first bursting into your mind in a place I've never been. Poets fill space with pigment, embellish with gold leaf, count the beats and the breaths between the lines. We put our faith in moonlight, believe in the hum of the earth that only cats, locals, and bards can hear. You look to me as a mooring to span the space between hearts. Sometimes I am tremulous soil, an unstable landing known to turn to quicksand under feet. I am an unreliable narrator in a poem with a nebulous arc. I keep a lover in the closet, serve moonshine when it's time for tea. When I say hearts were broken and none of them were mine, this is not brag, but warning. I don't mean harm, but sometimes I leave wounds like a cat with stiletto nails. In the brown glow of your eyes, I see warm honey for tea and biscuits. Think this time could be different. We have walked the same rough path to the sea, both bow to the solstice like bookends. But there's still the question of a landmass, the lever in the closet, the risk it always is to unsheath one's heart. The day our eyes agreed to slip off masks, we heard that tender thing with feathers singing. But unlike birds and angels, we don't have wings and must tread gently. And I'll close with a short poem that's not in the book called Skin. A sizzle under my right scapula, an itch that craves delicious scratch, a sting 3 generations deep, 3 generations back, birthed in a land I'll never know. One can't know a place that no longer exists, quarry of genocidal schemes. Within our skin, inborn knowledge seeps through our pores. I see my ancestors in the wrinkles around my eyes, watch my slender ankles thicken, my grandmother's feet, laced in orthopedic heels. I feel my mother's fingers as a curl caresses my cheek. One day, I too will be but a memory. But in the pause, I lay down a matrix of feather and verse, paint with glitter to remember the stardust from which we come and to which we return. One day, it will be just a bridge of bone and canto swaying like a hammock across a chasm in moonlight. Watch for me among the Pleiades. Thank you.
Ooh, let's hear it for Susana Praver-Pérez. Wow. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. A couple of commercials before we go. This Saturday, August 28th, we are having the first anthology release of our anthology paper, Telediorama. I'll be co-hosting that with Lindsay Ellis. And then for our 10-minute feature next Wednesday, we have Kaja Johnson. That is it for tonight. Susana, do you have any final thoughts, things, anything you want to say to end the evening?
Well, I dropped the link to my website and to my book in the chat, if anyone's interested. And also, if you want to hear more of my work, I'll be featuring on Saturday at La Palabra Musical, which is Avacha. I don't know if people know Avacha from Oakland. It's her multilingual poetry venue, is fantastic. It's on my website under coming events, and I encourage everyone to check it out. It's super fun. Just need to get there a little early if you want to read.
Okay, perfect. So we will end it off on check out Susana's website. And I'll also put that information in the Facebook thread as well, so people can check it out as well. Thank you, Susana. Thank you all, everyone. Have a great, safe, and healthy Wednesday.